and thank you for stopping to smell the damn roses. Today we have Erin with us.
Hello!
And we're going to knit.
Because we're nitwits. I'm sorry.
More puns! I really suck at knitting because, well, for two reasons. My grandma tried to teach me when I was in Alabama, so I didn't see the need. And dyslexia and counting is kind of been my bane.
That's okay.
So, will you show me how to knit something?
Sure. We're going to try knitting a scarf because it's really easy, the count is really low, and it's just something that if you mess up, it's still pretty useful.
Awesome. You want to tell the audience what they shall need?
Okay. Well, of course, you're going to need yarn. This is called worsted weight yarn. It is not, as opposed to something like bulky, which is this. I don't know where it started. Oh, there it goes. As you can tell, bulky is, thicker. And we're going to do a nice happy medium called worsted weight. Then you're going to need knitting needles. 2 of them, because I've seen people try to do it with 1. Does not work. We are actually going to use size 9 knitting needles, and that does make a difference. Because based on the weight of your yarn, the bigger the needle, the bigger the holes in between the spaces, and you don't want that. Some patterns call for that. This one, not so much. We also have something for the counting challenge, something called a needle counter, which is you just set it as needed in your pattern. This is especially helpful for when you have bigger patterns that have 80 to 100 or more stitches involved. Very helpful. We have a tapestry needle, which you use for weaving in the ends of your work, because you're always going to have a tail at both ends and you don't want those to show. And of course, scissors. Skizzers. Skizzers. Used for cutting, obviously.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna get the really big.
Yeah.
I'm getting the big needles and the bulky yarn.
This is called size 15. This is really good for practicing because, again, like I said, the bigger the needles, the bigger the holes are going to be in your work. But since we're just trying to show you things, it works really well. So for your pattern, yes, you're going to want to see what you're doing.
Okay.
So you have a good feel for what you're doing.
I feel like I immediately just want to do chopsticks.
Oh, yeah. We should go for sushi later.
Oh, yes. Okay. What am I doing? How do I hold these?
Well, we're not stabbing our yarn, so you have to be so defensive with it.
Okay. I'll hold them gently.
Hold them like a lady.
Okay.
You want, you just want the butt of your things pointed down.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do is the first thing you need to know is something called casting on.
Okay.
Which is basically putting loops on one of the hooks.
Okay.
The this is for right-handed people, by the way. If it's left-handed, you want to swap it, and it's not, you can't do it
flip the video over.
Play it backwards and flip it over.
Play it backwards. Then you can get the secret message.
So we have to get the yarn on the needle first.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our yarn. So if you want to try,
Alright.
stick your needle,
Just kind of
stick it in there right behind your needle with the loop on it.
Okay.
Very good. So then you're
I'm knitting.
Then you have 2 pieces here. You have your tail end, which
Okay.
we're going to ignore because we
All right.
don't need it. Then you have the line from your yarn or your skein. And you're just going to take it in this hand and you are going to bring it around the needle you inserted.
This one, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
am I
sitting
supposed
there.
to be like this?
No, it's supposed to be crossed in the back.
Oh,
Yep.
it is.
Your
Okay.
empty hook. Yep.
All right.
Then you take this and you bring it around and in between the 2 of them.
Okay.
And then kind of give it a gentle pull.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the tricky part. You're going to want to take your needle and kind of take it and hook that little line you made to do that. So you take it, stick it right there and behind. Take this, spin it around, and just pull through, but kind of hook it at the end, and then place it on top. Again, if you want to pull it just to make it a little tighter, that's fine. Please don't go like this, because you will never get that needle in there. As you can see, it's fighting. So you just want it firm, but not too firm. And 12. All right. Once you have your 12 on there, should look like this. There's a little tiny row of casted on stitches, and there's this nice row of your working loops. You're gonna take your needle, your empty needle is always gonna be in your right hand. So you're gonna stick your needle into this loop only, to the back.
To the back?
Yep, no, you're right.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take this yarn and bring it, sorry, hard to do it at that angle.
So
it should kind of really be this way, so then you bring it in between them.
Okay.
And
oh,
then
yeah, okay. So then I bring it through and
try to hook the...
Oh, it's there.
Kind of pull it out, yeah.
All right.
And
then I put it in on here?
Yep.
Go to there.
And now you have 3.
I have 3. Okay.
You're a quarter way there. You did it. You did it.
I did the thing. Da da da.
Yay. And it's not too tight because it can move easily.
Okay.
Which is good. You always want that little bit of movement because you kind of want this to breathe. Now that you have your 12 casted on stitches, it's time to learn the appropriately named stitch, the knit stitch. It's one of 2 basic stitches that you use in all of your knitting projects. And how you knit is, you take your, very similar to how you cast it on. You take your needle, your empty needle in your right hand, and you stick it behind, you stick it in the loop behind your other needle. Bring the yarn around in between the 2 of them and pull through. The only difference is, instead of putting it on like this, you're just going to slide it up and remove this loop here off of this needle. And there you go. So your loop actually transferred from this needle to this needle. And you're going to do that for all 12 of your loops. You take your needle, you bring it in the back, come around to the front. You're going to go back to front, slide your needle, and then slide off the hook. So now you have 2 transfer. And basically, you're just taking one loop and putting it from one needle to the next. La 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 la, la la. And then when you get to your last one, congratulations, you just knitted a row. And it should look like this. It's not pretty to look at right now, but as it grows, it will get prettier. And this is what it looks like on this side. Wait a minute, what did you do? Wait a minute.
What did I do?
Huh. 1, 2, what happened? Oh, okay. Wait.
It's okay to fail and make mistakes.
It's totally okay.
It's all part of life.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I was done.
Playing, yeah, you're done.
I was done.
I'm like, you're going above and beyond.
Okay.
but we can fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I just kind of like pull to loosen?
You can. You just don't want to pull too hard because it will unravel.
Okay.
But you have all 12 of your stitches right here.
Ooh!
So
I did it!
actually, I think you might have picked up one, but that's okay.
Alright,
Nice.
cool. So there we go. I did a thing.
This is what 4 rows of knitting stitch looks like. It's got this really, cool pattern on it. And if you look in between them, you can see little Y's in there. Now I'm going to show you how to cast off because you can't have the scarf with a needle in it, so you need to know how to cast off. Step 1 is you're going to just do 2 knit stitches the same way you normally do. That's 1. That's 2. Then you're going to take the left hook and stick it in this last loop and kind of bring it through the second hook and then just let it fall off. So now you have 1 hook on this needle and the rest of your needles here, and you just do it all the way to the end. You knit. When you have 2, you take your bottom hook and you stick it and pull it over your top hook. Oh, yes, hook. I'm just going to call it hook because I meant loop. So we knit. Alright, and then when you get to the end, what you do is you take your scissors, or skizzers as I call them, and just cut it and pull through to kind of make a knot and seal the deal. And there you go.
Woohoo!
Cool.
Cool.
A tube top for Barbie. And you're gonna thread this big old fat needle here, which is just fun with fraying. Okay, cool. And then you just take your needle and you weave it in. There's no special tactic, just to eat up the length. And then when it gets too short to do that with, you just can tuck it in. Tuck it in anywhere, just so you have this cleaner side and not this.
Yay!
Yay!
We knitted things, and I learned a thing. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And Mint Julep has a hat.
It's a lovely hat.
And yeah, so we'll do like a crocheting, I guess, in the future. And thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Doing things like knitting is really good for warding off things like arthritis and tinnitus. It has your frontal lobe working, which is always good to, get brain activities going, especially in the wintertime when we all sad.
Winter brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got the same effects as doing 20 minutes of meditation.
Oh, see, Butterfingers, well, Butternub, that's a sweet name. When I grow up, I want to get a cat and name her Butternubs.